Hey guys, let's talk about how to identify a clay-rich soil for making cob. So I just did some dirt work here yesterday, cut out the pad for the next cob structure here, and you can kind of see the layers of the soil. So the top layer is always the topsoil, and then you have the subsoil beneath that. So we're trying to look for a subsoil that's adequate for making cob, and that subsoil usually has a clay content somewhere between 15 to 25% clay. Here the topsoil is not very distinct in this case. There's usually a darker contrast between the subsoil and the topsoil. Topsoil has all the organic matter in it. It's usually a darker color, sometimes almost like a black or dark brown. It's a little bit darker here, you can tell, but here in East Tennessee we have a lot of clay, so there's still a lot of clay even in the topsoil. But you wouldn't want to use this because it's got like roots and organic stuff in it. So we want to use this subsoil. This is what you're looking for making cob, and it starts roughly around here. You can see a little bit of a difference in the coloration. And then I'm going to zoom in here and kind of show you how I can tell that this has a lot of clay in it, so you can identify your own soil for making cob. Alright, so again we have our topsoil up here. As we move down, you can tell the color difference. Now, when you find your subsoil, some ways to tell that you have a lot of clay content in it. For one, here you can see this kind of streak where the bucket cut into the dirt. And it's like slick. It's almost slick. Okay. You can also kind of push on it, and if it makes these indents, it's soft, like almost like modeling clay. That's a sign there's a lot of clay in there. Another easy way is to pick some off. Let me get a chunk here. So you can form it, and this stuff's forming pretty well. One thing you can do also to really see if there's a lot of clay in it, but see how moldable and sculptable it is. One thing you can do is try to stretch it. Some people call this a snake test. To see how far you can stretch it out without it falling apart. That's pretty good. I know this has a lot of clay in it. I don't know like the exact numbers, but this has plenty of clay for making cob. And again, you don't want to have something like a modeling clay that's like 100% clay, because that's just going to crack when it dries. You want a soil that has a high clay content, but it also has the aggregates in it naturally. Because if you had 100% clay, you just have to add a ton of aggregate to it anyway. So these are just a couple ways to identify clay or clay-rich soil for making cob.